Hello everyone, this is meteorologist Amy Metz, and we are looking at the severe weather threat today for the United States. We are also looking at what I'm circling here off the coast of Mexico as what will probably become a named storm. There is some more moisture flowing into this storm that will help it grow and just very slowly move north along the coast of Mexico. So this is not even hurricane season yet, but we're starting to get some developments out there. There's not really, I wouldn't say that I would be certain this would become a hurricane, but I do believe it'll be a named storm somewhere along the coast of Mexico before some dry air becomes circulated into the system within the next few days. And over those next few days for the United States, we are going to be seeing quite a bit of severe weather. Something that stuck out to me then when I just turned on this radar was that there's not really any rain going on. I mean, very little bits of rain happening right now over Colorado, Wyoming, Utah, but there's a lot of lightning. Look at all this lightning off by the Bahamas, over the Atlantic. And this is a ton of lightning, especially for not having that much cloud cover to go along with it. So what's going on here with the sun is something pretty cool I wanted to show you. Now we are in a point right now of solar minimum, and these are all different views of the sun. So I just started studying space weather last year. I just finished the 2 classes that cover phenomenology so that I can kind of dissect the stuff, look at it, and talk about it. And we have a radiation storm going on right now on Earth, so I can get into more of the details on that in another video. But for the point being with the storms on Earth right now, keep an eye on this part here that I'm circling. This is a sunspot, and there's magnetic field lines connecting north and south, and they go back and forth, so they go into rings. And every now and then you'll see bands like this kind of fly off, boom, and then some of it can actually blast off and eject. So there's a lot of instruments out there in space we can look at to check this stuff out. But for right now with Earth weather, I'm mostly looking at these things, seeing what kind of flares we had. We had some M-class flares come out of this. These are 2 different instruments in different places, so they get different readings. And we're looking at pretty moderate, pretty moderate threat levels here. I mean, not that it's going to be damaging necessarily, but it can interrupt radio broadcasts right here as far as like high frequency radio goes if somebody's using ham radio or in emergency services, and it brings us a ton of lightning. So there's going to be a lot of lightning with these storms today. I'm going to just kind of go through some maps here real quick and just get a peek at what's going on. I know we had a big low that is here we go, is the one I'm looking for, the mid-level, kind of more closer in 850 millibars here. This has been developing a lee side low over the last day or so, and will continue to move east. Now at the surface is where we're going to be seeing the biggest threat there. So before I get through here, it looks like Cape is down, but it will increase. Shear is up. So I'm just being really fast here, trying to get an idea of what's going on today. So yeah, we have a lot of reasons to indicate that there could be tornadoes between Oklahoma, Kansas. We have a lot of different players involved there that would give us that. So I'll go ahead right now and show the temperatures with the winds and play out a model here. This is the European model, just to kind of get an idea of how this triple point may be moving and forming, because what I saw was that it was here and it will be drifting this way. And over the next couple of days, be bringing severe weather into the southeast United States, then off the coast of the Atlantic. So on to Monday even, there could be some more severe weather along the coast here, where we even had a tornado last week up in New Hampshire with another kind of similar system that developed and swept through in a pretty similar fashion. And so this is something that if you live in these areas, Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Texas, and then anywhere eastward, be on guard today. Have your weather alerts ready. Have a weather radio with you, because this is here. I'll go ahead and show you then. Everything I saw pointed to these directions here. Now as this evolves, it could be a little bit more up here, but there's no, I would say we could still have some supercells forming in this area here, in that warm sector, once the storms that are currently here once this develops and the low pressure starts to drift a little and it gets into this warm front sector, that's where we could be seeing some supercells develop. And to give a better idea about those boundaries, I'll open the zoom in map for the Weather Prediction Center. Along this dry line here is where we can oftentimes have supercells form where they're not embedded with the major storm production. But most of this development is going to occur around this triple point where we have a stationary front connected to the warm front connected to the dry line around this lee side low. So once there's little storms going on here with a lot of lightning, they'll start to drift east. And once they get into this area where the temperatures are warmer, when they get through this bend right here and then past the trough, they can start to get embedded with more moist air that was already close to its dew point. So in that case, we'll be having more developments going on in this region, and then especially closer to this warm front. So the enhanced risk is very, there's a good reason it's going right here over Kansas. So don't rule out strong supercells with hail where I'm putting the mouse now. We could be having this dry line here with supercells generating in the afternoon. I would say especially after like 2, 3, 4 o'clock. There could be some kind of a capping inversion going on here until it gets hot enough on the ground that the air is able to continue rising and create thunderstorms. So be on guard here today, and then tomorrow and the next day here. So I'll go ahead with SPC before I close out and just show the next couple of days, since I did show this already. I'm in good agreement here with this, but again, don't rule out supercells. Looks like that's what they're encompassing here with that dry line as it passes through. So it's around here now. And then as the day goes on, it gets warmer and warmer. That inversion can break. A lot of people call it breaking the cap. That will likely happen around here, where it oftentimes does this time of year, and can produce damaging effects as well. So then onward to the next day, which is tomorrow. Arkansas, Louisiana, parts of Texas still, near Dallas, be severe weather, especially during the daytime heating. And then for the next day, Monday, we're looking at, I was kind of thinking we could have a larger risk here and anywhere around here. So there's some other features in play where this would be enhanced in the Texas region. But I wouldn't rule out in between here with some other thunderstorms, kind of like how today we could have those supercells with hail and tornado in Texas, even though it's just in the green marginal risk area right now. So overall, there's a huge write-up here if anybody wants to take a look at what they have to say. It's more technical, or go ahead in the comments and leave me questions if you have any. I feel like seeing this one more time before I go. I think this is so neat. In fact, I'll go to a different wavelength and see how it looks with a different lens. So basically out in space on these telescopes, there's different cameras, telescopes, and lenses that give filters so we can see the sun through different wavelengths. And it helps us dissect different types of phenomenon, whether something might be a solar flare versus a filament eruption, a coronal mass ejection, radiation storm. There's coronal holes that give fast-moving solar wind. All of those things can have effects on, there was aurora and lightning, and even cloud seeding. So cosmic dust and other effects out in space can bring us our weather. So I'm learning more and more about how to make these connections, how I can use them in my forecasts, and how this kind of space weather data might actually help us forecast lightning. So enjoy the weather. Let me know where you're enjoying the weather from today. I hope that if you're in this region, as storms begin to develop, that you're all safe and enjoying it. I'd hate to see anybody's homes get destroyed, anybody get hurt today. So we'll just come crossing my fingers for the best here. Have a great day, and thanks for watching. This is meteorologist Amy Metz.